1.2. Can somebody tell me the numbers? Because I can't find it on D2L.
Okay, the practice quiz
The
for
practice quiz was 1 through 7 so it was 1 through 5. The ones you had to do on the practice quiz was 1 through 5 on 1.1 and then 1 through 7 on 1.2.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I had one question.
Sure.
I ended up figuring it out because I Googled how to do it online, but I couldn't find it anywhere in the book, and maybe that's just my maybe that's just me and I couldn't find it in the book. But there was one problem that said find a point on the y-axis that is equidistant from these 2 points. And
Right.
I couldn't find anything that actually explained how to do that. I figured it out, but I want to know, I want to make sure that I'm doing it in the way that is correct. Because I got the correct answer, but I don't know if this is the way I'm supposed to be doing it.
You have to set up 2 distant formulas and set them equal, and there's a lot of algebra in it. I worked it.
Okay, I think I did it right then, because that's the way I did it. You're do AC and BC, and then your point, you have a separate point C, and it was your point would be 0 and then an exponent, and you had to solve for that exponent.
Yeah, something like that.
And
I
since
worked
the
this.
point is on the y-axis, the first one, x is 0, and then if it's on the x-axis, y is 0, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. That's all I was confused about. I just want to make sure I was doing it correctly.
Right. Let's see, where do y'all want to see? We kind of set these up for 1.4 and 1.6. You probably haven't had a chance, still Monday, so you probably haven't had much chance to actually work any problems. Does anybody want me to work a few examples to help you get started?
Mr. C, could you please explain to us when the assignment for 1.1 and 1.2 is due, the quiz?
Okay, we made them do Sunday night. So for those 2 sections, it would have been last night.
Right, and then you gave us an extension and said that we didn't, because I had not studied 1.2 because I was confused on the page numbers.
Right.
So could you tell me when the quiz is due?
Okay.
For 1.2 and 1.1?
It's due whenever you turn it in. Let me try to explain my philosophy. I do have to set a deadline. So as a general rule, you get all week to work on these 2 sections, and the material, quiz, web assignment are due Sunday night. But there is no late penalty. So if you don't get it done by Sunday night, you can turn it in whenever you get it done. I know it sounds loosey-goosey, but I have to set a deadline because it allows me, when I collect grades, if we're past the deadline, anyone who hasn't turned it in, it allows me to give them a 0. But if you turn it in Monday, Tuesday, even though the deadline was Sunday night, I will put your grade in over that 0. Is that helpful or?
Yes, and is there someone maybe in this class or you who could walk me through? I know the ebooks do not have page numbers associated with their with the assignment. So when you reference page numbers and I go to the ebook, I'm not able to see an actual page number. Is there a way? I think I know now how to do the assignment. So I know how to go into the chapters and find the sections. So I basically just need to read section 1.1 and 1.2. I've read most of I think I've read all of 1.1 actually, because I had studied up to that point, but 1.2 I had not studied, and that's where I need. Is there a way that you could bump up the assignment for the first quiz somewhere in the assignments column where it says what the or the quizzes column, and put the information for the quiz in the quizzes column? Because I'm having a tough time finding where the quizzes are in the left-hand column. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. Let me, you want me to pull up D2L here?
That would be great. I don't actually see your screen. Does everyone else see the screen?
My screen, I think, has your picture on it. Are you Miss Bauer?
Yeah, I don't think he's started screen sharing yet.
I haven't
Okay.
really screen shared, yeah.
We don't see your face or anything. I don't think you're in video mode yet.
No, I'm trying to keep the file sizes small.
Okay.
Everybody should know who I am. I'm a real person, and you don't really want to see me after a full day of yard work. You don't really want to see me anyway. Okay, let's see. Can you see this?
Thank you for going through D2L with me. Thank you.
Well, sure thing. If I haven't done it yet, so let's see if I can actually do it. Are you seeing the eagle?
Yes, I am.
It says I'm screen sharing.
Okay. Yep, you are.
Okay.
And I hope I'm not wasting everybody else's time. Maybe this is just me.
No, you're fine. I know that the only way I found it was by the little bell thing that said things were due soon. So it is helpful to kind of see where it actually is.
Okay.
All right. So are you seeing my home page? I've got all my 4 classes.
Yes.
Okay. I guess I'll pick your actual thing. I'm trying very hard to keep these 2 college algebras identical. I'll pick this second one here. Okay, so here's y'all's class. Now I find this over here to the left. Everything is under here over to the left. But I find this real confusing. It doesn't seem to show. I'm a lot of things if you just start clicking on this stuff. So I always go to this word content up here.
Yes.
And click it. It seems to spread things out a lot better.
Okay.
Okay. So I did post a big kind of long letter under overview. And you see that's got 265 items under table of contents. I don't want to look at that. So I never click that.
Okay.
Oh.
That's where I get confused because there's a lot of items under table of content. And in under each tab, you can click on it and it will take you down another rabbit hole.
Right. So I never look at that. I think it has a lot of stuff. You see where the start here and finish here is?
Yes.
Okay. That is a school template for Math1111 that they've made me load.
Okay.
I have not posted anything between start here and finish here.
Okay.
You're welcome to look through it. I did look through a little bit of it. There's some videos in there for different sections and the like, and you're welcome to help yourself. But you see how it's got 224 items? That's for the entire class.
Okay. So if I wanted to click right now on content that I needed to know for module, and just so I'm certain, module 2 is what starts section 1.1 and section 1.2.
Yes.
Okay. So I click on that.
Okay. All right. And then here's what I've had to add in yesterday, the section 1.1 and 1.2 homework here.
Oh, good. Okay. I have not been online to that today,
right.
But I couldn't find that yesterday.
Right.
Okay. Good. Okay. That's what I needed to know. That's where to find that. Good.
Okay.
Did you, are you able to post any of that kind of stuff? Well, like for quizzes, for example, could you post it under the heading quizzes?
Probably.
Okay.
Hadn't thought about it, but yeah, probably I could. Yeah, that's the thing. I prepared all summer for this, but until you go live and have actual real students in front of you, you don't really know what issues come up, and I see it one way and you see it another.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So no, I need this feedback. Yeah. Maybe I should do that. Let's see. So there's no quizzes here. All right, so if I hit section 1, we'll hit this, and I'm still seeing the same thing. Okay, so if I hit this, okay, this is where I'm trying to post instructions to access the WebAssign. The actual problems to do out of WebAssign here. The Google form to report your WebAssign grade.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where I posted the Quiz 1 question sheet.
Okay.
So this has got the questions for Quiz 1. And there's the questions. Have you seen this before? Should I call it up?
I have gone into that. Yes. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. And you've seen the Google form to put your answers.
I have. I need to go back and study 1.2 now that I know where to access it in the ebook, because there's no pages in the ebook, and it's
Right.
also the ebook is not titled under sections.
Okay, let me call up the ebook here if I can find it.
So I've refamiliarized it
Okay.
now. So, okay, so for example, you say go to section 1.1 and 1.2,
Right.
and this is what comes up. This is what we see.
Right. This is what you see, the front menu here, right?
Right.
So 1.1 and 1.2 are under number 1 here.
Okay.
Okay. I came up with 1.2. If you go to here, see these 3 bars?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you ever clicked on it, but it gives you kind of the table of contents.
Yes. I
Okay.
see that now. Okay.
All right. If you will, you're right. There's no page. I didn't even realize there was no page numbers until people pointed it out to me. But
Right.
let's say you wanted to do for 1.1, you wanted the problems I've suggested for practice on a certain
Okay.
page.
Uh-huh.
Go down to these exercises.
Okay.
This exactly matches the homework in my textbook on page 10. No. We're on 1.1, aren't we?
Yes.
We're on 1.1. This exactly matches on page 91 from 1.1. I could show
Okay.
you this, but I'd have to switch to my iPhone camera.
No, that's okay. That's great.
Okay, so when I sign on page 91, problem 5, this is problem 5 on page 91.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to go back then and make sure that I understand section 1.2 so I can take the quiz,
Okay.
the first quiz,
Right.
and then I'll get started tomorrow on this week's
Sure.
assignment. Okay.
And like you say, at this stage of the semester, you can resubmit the quiz as many times as you like. I will only record the highest grade.
Okay. Thank you.
You said at this point in the semester. Later in the semester, will we not be able to retake it?
No, on quizzes, you'll be able to retake, but tests, you will not. There will be
So
one submission allowed on the test.
So does that mean we have to fill out the Google form again with the percentages that we got?
On a test like test 1, it's going to have your problems worked out, and you're going to answer true or false exactly like the quiz, but you'll have one submission.
I think what she's asking is that with the practice, sorry, you go ahead.
It was with the practice quizzes where it said you put your email in and then what percentage you got on both of them. Do we
Right.
have to fill that form out again if we take the quizzes again?
No, that's the WebAssign grade, and that's in a different category from these other quizzes.
No, she's asking if you want us to submit it like you have us do it again and again until we get the score that we want. Do you want us to submit all of our scores or just the final score that we get that we like?
You can do it either way. If you want to, hold it yourself and only submit the highest score, that's fine. If I see this multiple submissions from the same email, and typically what happens, a lot of people start with 0 because they don't understand the format to enter the answer, and then then they're up to an 80, and then the third one they're up to 100. So, or something, something like that. So I will only record the highest grade. So on the WebAssign, you can resubmit and I'll only record the highest grade, or you can hold it yourself and only submit the highest grade yourself. It's up to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so just to be clear, then in the left-hand column, when we're looking for what we need to study, we're in module 3 now.
Right.
In each
Let me go
module,
back to D2L and show module 3.
Sure. I mean, actually, if I could just look at and see where it is in the left-hand column,
Right.
and then we'll just go through and check off all the items in module 3 and if we do everything within that module that we're supposed to do, starting with module 3, which is the second week,
Right.
then we will have completed our assignments for the week. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
To let you know what happened, I started making this stuff first of the summer. So I made the overview, made this module 1, module 2, etc. Then I got a notice that I had to upload this stupid template. So when I did, that's where the start here and stop here stuff came from, or finish
Okay.
here. Okay. So now when I enter module 3, I have to go below.
And I can't see my screen. Is finish here? Finish here is above actually where we start.
For this week, yes.
Okay, so ignore finish here and everything above.
To start here, yeah.
Okay. And we'll just start module 3 and we'll go down. And you said maybe you might be able to put the quizzes in the quiz column at the top of the template.
I don't know how to put quizzes at the top of the template here. I really
Well,
don't.
do you see the
Everything I
blue
add
bar?
now wants to add it at the bottom of the left-hand column.
The blue bar up top with course home and content, discussions, assignments, quizzes.
Oh, quizzes. Now you see, that's a completely different animal. That's a D2L quiz.
Okay.
And to be honest, I'm not a fan of D2L.
Okay.
It gives you way too many options for my taste. I don't even want to get into it. It drove me nuts going through the training. So that quiz is a D. I'm totally ignoring D2L. What I'm calling a quiz is problems I've made up and that you enter on a Google form.
Okay. But to be clear, in WebAssign, we also ignore the assignments.
Right.
Okay. But you understand the confusion.
Yeah, I get the confusion.
Okay.
Like I say, I know what I want and it's perfectly clear to me.
Right.
But until you get in front of real students and you all read it, your own way, you don't really see how other people are perceiving it.
Right. Well, the only way we know how to perceive it is what we're seeing on the screen.
Exactly. And I can't see, what you're seeing. So, yeah. So her suggestion that I should put all the quizzes under a quizzes thing, I guess I could create a quizzes thing over here. Would it be helpful to have all the quizzes in one spot under quizzes at the left-hand column here?
Yes, that would be very
Yes.
helpful.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah.
How about the previous quizzes we've already done? Because I could grab them and put them here as well.
Yeah, it would be good to have them just all in one place. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Now that's the quizzes.
That's
What about
fine.
the WebAssign assignments? Would that be helpful? I could create a module here that just says WebAssign assignments.
And
Yeah,
exactly-
and then you can put due dates on them because then we know when each thing is due. So just put a due date. Even if it's not technically, if you'll take late work, like it would still be nice to have a due date and just know when things are due so we can keep up with, you know,
The
the
pace.
pace that you, the
Yes.
pace that you want set.
Okay, that's the other thing about setting the due date. Hopefully, it puts a little pressure on you going, oh, crap, I just missed that.
Yeah, I would much
deadline.
rather have a due date set.
Me too.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. But
I
yes,
have a question.
yes.
So the only way you will be able to see what we made on the quiz is if we submit it to the on the D2L where it says the Google form quiz
Right.
percentage.
That's correct.
Okay, so you're telling me that I would have to get on D2L and submit it from yesterday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to go submit it from. I have a quick question about that though.
Yeah.
Say we get almost everything right and we got one thing wrong, but we know what we did wrong and we know what the right answer is. Do you want us to go back and like fix that and resubmit all of the problems again, or just know that like, hey, if I did this again, I would get 100%, so submit 100%, or do you want us to like go back and change everything?
No, I wouldn't call the web assign up and redo it, because I believe it's going to give you completely different problems.
Okay, so if we know what we did wrong and we know we'd get 100% if we did it again, can we submit 100%, or would that be a bad thing to do?
No, I'd go ahead and submit the 100%.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Uh-huh.
So to recap, thank you very much for putting quizzes in the left-hand column under its own specific label,
Okay.
and web assignments that are labeled with the dates that they're due, also in the left-hand column under its own tab. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter which tab. If it's above in the top blue, that doesn't matter, or if it's in the left under a tab. But so long as all the quizzes are in one place and all the assignments are in one place, and then we can just sort of navigate through D2L and WebAssign to do the studying that we need.
Okay. Maybe that's see, I was trying to organize it week by week. So week 1, here's the quiz, here's the web assign, and it's in one spot. Then further down the page is week 2. But you all find that just a little too confusing. You'd rather have all the quizzes in one spot, all the web assign assignments in one spot.
Yes, and I appreciate the week by week. Theoretically, that would work if it hadn't interfered with the template that you had to download from Dr. Davis, because we can also see the syllabus from Dr. Davis in your D2L. We can see all of Dr. Davis's information. So sometimes, yeah, I've already printed Dr. Davis's syllabus only to realize it was Dr. Davis's syllabus and not yours.
Right.
So it's all
get it.
kind of it's like, imagine going into a big swampy marsh and there's
Right.
weeds and catskills and, cattails rather. And it's very hard to, and that's hard to go back and find. You have to do a lot of searching to find the assignments and the quiz that you need to do.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I have no
Thank
idea
you.
who the heck Dr. Davis. I've taught at this school for 30 years. I have no idea who Dr. Davis is. None.
Well, we know what her syllabus looks like.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
good to have it. It's good to have it week by week, but as long as if you have it all in one place, and then we have just due dates, so we know that at the end of the week, this thing and this thing are due, it'll just it'll help a lot with navigating. So I think that might fix your problem with everyone being confused on where things are and what's due.
Okay.
Just to have it all in one place and then have due dates on them so that people know kind of the idea of what's expected for that week.
Sure. Okay. Now let's see. I made a video, like you say, for this week right here. And I wrote out all the assignments in the video. Now, I have it on paper. I still have my note. Thank God I didn't shred it. I was about to shred it because I'm building up my paper here. But you think it would be helpful if I could scan that in and post it additionally to what I showed you in the video.
That would be great.
Okay, got it.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then, and maybe after this Zoom meeting, we could, and I appreciate that you're doing the Zoom meetings twice a week as well.
Right.
Maybe after this one, we could get into, problem solving, and actually by then, hopefully maybe by Thursday, I'll be caught up and
Okay.
actually be able to discuss 1.3 and 1.4 chapter contents.
Sure. It's actually going to be 1.4 and 1.6.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're going to skip 1.3 and 1.5.
Okay, great.
All right. Would anybody like to see a problem? I could hook up the camera and work a problem if anybody would like to see anything.
Yeah, can you work out how to, what was the question? I think it was like how to graph a circle or something.
Okay,
Okay.
I have a quick concern.
Sure.
I don't have a graphing calculator,
Okay.
and it is not the I know there are ways to do this, all of these problems without graphing calculators, but I have been taught previously in my previous algebra classes how to do it with a graphing calculator, but I do not have one of those. And the book
Right.
isn't teaching me how to do it without a graphing calculator. And so I was trying to find ones online, but they're really difficult to work and try to find the exact thing, and the tables especially. And so I was just wondering how you would advise doing these things without a graphing calculator, because there are ways, but the book isn't teaching them.
Yeah, you got to graph points and make tables and the like.
So
Have you got a smartphone?
yes, I do.
I have seen, I've never done it myself, but people have come up and shown me apps that they have downloaded, which have turned their smartphone into like a TI-84 graphing calculator.
Okay, maybe I'll look for something like that. I just know that, like, I can't afford a graphing calculator right now.
Sure.
They're super expensive.
Right.
And so, but I can do these problems without them. I just, like, the book isn't teaching me how to.
Sure.
I ran into that problem as well. I looked
Yeah.
into YouTube what I did was I went on to Nextdoor. I don't know if any of you or your parents are on the Nextdoor app, but I said, hey, listen, I'm taking a college algebra class and I need a graphing calculator TI 83 or 84. And within a day, my next door neighbor was like, hey, I've got one you can have for this semester. And so I'm currently borrowing hers.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very good.
that said, I still don't know how to use it, and I even went on tutorials to try to figure out how to use it, and it wasn't a very good tutorial, because unless you really have somebody right next to you or in a class showing you how to
Yeah.
use graphing calculator, it's really a challenge.
I can show you how to use it. I mean, I know how to use a calculator. It's more of like, I don't know how to work them out without it.
Is a TI-83 okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, because that's what I have.
Sure. Yep, no problem.
Okay.
Would anybody like me to turn the camera on and I'll show you how to, because I've got my 84 here, I can show you how to graph a simple function like x squared.
Yes, please.
And
Okay,
I know
no-
someone did want you to go over the circle thing. Don't forget about that. Sorry, I kind of interrupted that.
Sure. What did you want to know about a circle?
I wanted to see like how to graph one. If that's a stupid question, I'm sorry.
No, not one bit. In fact, circle is a good case. You don't even need a calculator. As long as you know the center and radius, I'll show you how to graph a circle. Is there any one in particular you want to see, or do you want me to just make up something?
It doesn't matter. I wasn't really taught how to do it.
Okay.
And if I was, it was for like a day, and then my teacher just kind of like brushed over it.
Right.
So I just need to like know like the basics of how to do it.
All right. Let me see if I can get my iPhone camera here working. I'll have to stop the share and hook it up, and we'll try to do both those things here. Let's see. Can everyone see the pad of paper?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can see it.
Okay. I'll try the circle first. If you know the center and radius, let's say graph, I'll write an equation of a circle. X minus 3 squared plus y plus 4 squared equals 16. Would you know that the center, this is the H, this is the K, the center would be 3 and negative 4. Does everybody know you have to switch the signs on the numbers
Yeah.
when you pull out the actual numbers for the center? And the radius is the square root of 16, which is 4. So to get a graph, it's just a simple matter of graphing that center. So over 3, down 4. And you don't really have to be accurate about the radius at all. Basically, just draw a circle. It's really all you got to do. Did that help?
Yeah,
not-
it did, because my problem last night was I forgot to like switch the signs.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
could show you how to get this on the calculator, but believe me, it would be a royal PITA because you would have to solve this equation for y. The calculator works y equals and your formula in x. Just to outline the first couple of steps on the calculator, you'd have to go y plus 4 squared is 16 minus x minus 3 squared. All right, then you'd have to do a square root on both sides. Y plus 4 equals big square root of 16 minus x minus 3. Okay. And by the way, when you do a square root, you get a plus and minus. And then you got to subtract the 4 over. It would look like this. Big square root of 16 minus x minus 3 squared. All right. Turns out the plus root on this would give you the top half. The negative here would give you the bottom half. And you can see what a chore that would be to enter. So we don't make you do that. That's the quick and dirty way to graph a circle.
Are these, Mr. C?
Yeah.
I don't know about switching the signs. I am sort of a beginning. I tested out of all the remedial coursework, but it's
Right.
been a very long time since I've taken a math class. So
Okay.
my question to you is, if I go into the chapters, will it teach me about all of this? Because I'm good. I'm self-paced. I can read the information. I can watch tutorials, and it will come back to me. I've taken trigonometry when I was in high school. It'll come back. I just need the refresher and the reminders.
Sure.
Will it do that in the chapters when I go to read them?
I hope it does, but like you say, everybody, can read a little different and everything. I can show you the sign switching here pretty quick. Let me
Okay.
recopy the equation. X minus 3 squared, y plus 4 squared is equal to 16. Okay. The equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k equals r squared. Okay, you can see the h here real quick. X minus 3, x minus h. This only matches if h is 3. All right, this equation of a circle comes from the distance formula. That's why the minus signs are in the formula.
Okay.
And you can see when you actually pull out the h number, the h has got to be 3. So x minus 3, h is directly positive 3. I can show you here a little bit. You got to write this as y minus a negative 4 squared. So if you have y minus k, y minus your negative 4, that's your y plus 4. Two negatives make it positive. Therefore, your k here is negative 4. So in the formula, it has an add sign. When you pull out the actual K number, it switches to negative. Does that make any more sense?
No, it really doesn't. And
It really doesn't.
no,
No problem.
I'm going to have to read the chapters before I'm going to understand the context here.
Right.
And I'm just a little behind on reading the chapters, but I will catch up.
Okay.
And I will be by Thursday. I will be hopefully on track. And may I just text, email if I have any specific questions that I can't answer on my own?
Absolutely.
Okay. Turns out my neighbor is an algebra professor too. So he
Okay,
said,
very good.
yes, yeah. I'm just learning where my resources are.
Sure thing. Okay, I was supposed to graph something simple on the graphing calculator. Let's just start with a simple x squared. Graph y equals x squared. Okay, some of these simple graphs, eventually you do them enough, you get them memorized. I've got this one memorized, but you may not have that. So what happens is when you do a graph, and this works on an 83, the keys can look a little different, but mostly, at least if it's TI, it's mostly the same thing. You've got these keys across the top. Maybe I should just point out I do simple arithmetic. If you just wanted to add 2 plus 2, you got to turn it on. I'll clear it. If you just want to go 2 plus 2, you hit enter, okay, of course you get 4. So you do a simple arithmetic around here. There's no equals key. You just, when you want an answer, you hit the enter key. If you want a graph, there's really, I'll outline the 3 steps. Number 1, you got to enter your formula. It's on the y equals menu. Okay. The y equals menu is right up here. So you hit y equals, and you get a whole bunch. You can actually graph a whole bunch of different formulas at once if you want. These are old, so I'm going to clear them all here. Clear, down, hit clear. Okay. So when I go to enter the formula, I don't enter the y equals. It's already been entered. So when I want y equals x squared, the x key is right here. See that x? That's where you get your x from. I just hit that. And I can hit the square key from right here. Squared. All right, so I have entered the formula, step 1. Step 2, enter the window. Now I'll show you what the window looks like. The window is the next key over. All right, you get this little menu. I could write this down. X min, X max, X scale, Y min, Y max, Y scale. Let me make a picture of that. This is your calculator screen. You'll have your X and Y axis through the middle. So when it's going X min -10 and X max 10, it's outlining this horizontal. It's setting your left screen at -10, your right of the screen at +10. The X scale, 1, is what each tick mark is worth. 1, 2, 3, that's your X scale. All right, so each tick mark is worth 1. On the Y min, Y max, that's going vertically. So -10 and up here to 10. Again, the Y scale is 1, tick mark is worth 1, Y scale. So it is outlining the values on that screen. This is so common for non-word problems. It actually has its own zoom key. It's under zoom 6. It'll set the whole thing to these values, or you can enter them separately. To actually see the graph, you want the graph button. That's step 3. Right over here to the right. So that's step 3, press graph. So I will do that. It is sweeping through horizontally, entering values into X squared and lighting up these pixels to show a nice graph. Anybody know the name of that graph? Starts with P. Called a parabola. Yeah, it's a parabola. It's the shape of your satellite dish. If you're on DirecTV or anything like that, your satellite dish is parabolic, they call it. It'll have a shape like this following a parabola. Is, or has this been any help? Is this what you needed to see? Or has this gone whoosh right over the head?
It was a good refresher.
Good refresher. Yeah, we're going to be entering a lot of graphs throughout the semester. So this is the basic way it's done. 83 would work very similar. We're at 45 minutes for this, so this is gonna take a little while to upload. Is there anything anybody else wants to see or say?
I have a question.
Yes.
It was on the web assign, like the little practice quizzes, but it was like, how do you graph a circle when you're only given the radius?
And the radius given the radius.
Yeah.
Sounds like the center would have been at the origin then, at 0, 0. Is that right?
Oh, okay. Is
Yeah.
that what it's supposed to be?
Well, I'm trying to think. Did they give you any kind of equation of the circle?
No. All it said was it said graph the circle, and all it said was that r was equal to 3.
The r was equal to 3. And this was on WebAssign?
Yeah.
You want me to see if I can make my way back to it?
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it. Uh-oh, have I quit sharing? I'm on WebAssign myself, but y'all don't see WebAssign?
No, we don't.
Yeah, blast it. I didn't start sharing again. Let me see if I can get back. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I gotta remember to do this. Okay, can you see the WebAssign now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is 1.2 practice quiz. Yeah, here's the thing. WebAssign scrambles things, so I can call this up, but it may not be exactly what you had. Let's see if you can spot a similar one. X and Y intercept. Everybody know how to do X and Y intercepts? Center and radius. Was it similar to number 4?
No.
No.
It was like, oh, I wish I wrote this down. All it said was graph.
Oh, how about number 6?
Yes, that's it right there. But it was like radius was 3. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, but the radius on your problem was 3.
Yeah.
Okay, but it gave you a condition like this. It's in the first quadrant, tangent to both
Yes.
X and Y axes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, let me draw a picture of it. The problem is I gotta go back to, let me just sketch this down and we'll go back to my camera.
Okay.
Circle, first quadrant, tangent to both X, Y axes with an R of 5 on mine, or 3 on yours. Okay, yeah, I'm drawing on the paper and y'all can't see it. So let me see if I can get back to the camera. All right. Get a little quicker at this. There's like 3 buttons you got to hit. Okay, are you back to my paper?
Yeah.
Okay. So you draw a set of axes. Here's y, here's x. You remember what tangent means? It intersects at one point.
Okay.
It's kind of geometry term. If your tangent, you kind of touch at one point. So with a radius of 5, what happens is I can come over 5 and up 5. And I've kind of, since it's in the first quadrant, I've kind of named my center. Because the circle is going to kiss or touch the y-axis there at that point, and it's going to come down and be tangent to the x-axis at that point. And then you're going to go on around and complete your circle. And so the radius is 5 here, and the radius is 5 here. Do you see that?
Yes.
That makes this coordinate over 5 and up 5. And that is your H and that is your K, your center.
So for mine, it would be 3 and 3.
For yours, it'd be 3 and 3. If it's in the first quadrant, yeah. Now, sometimes they switch quadrants on you. If they had done this and in the second quadrant, my H would have been -5 and the Y +5. So sometimes they play games with you, switching the quadrants. Can you write the equation? Or did they want a graph or want the equation? Can't remember. Do you remember what they wanted, graph or equation?
Equation.
Okay. So the equation is x minus h squared add y minus k squared equals r squared. And we're just going to, the h and k are both +5, which means in the equation they look negative. Minus 5 squared, and then the r was 5. So 5 squared is 25. And there you are.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure thing. Oh, we're now at 50 minutes. I can see myself up till midnight trying to upload it, but that's no big deal. I'll try to answer everybody's questions. Coming out late on a Monday night. I am going to, yes, schedule a Zoom meeting for 12 noon tomorrow. If any of y'all can come to that or want to, you may not. May have had all you can stand. Does anybody want to say anything or ask anything else then before we end?
No, I just appreciate your flexibility and your receiving the feedback so well. Thank you very much for that.
Sure thing, no problem. I've like I say, taught totally 32 years, and yeah, there's try to do my best to get things across and make it as clear as I can. And yeah, I'll take your suggestions and see if I can upload the same. Then I'll keep as the semester goes on. I'll keep going to that same spot. I can see, yeah, that looks like it'd be a lot clearer.
Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mr. C. You have a great night.
Okay, same to you. And I guess
Bye-bye.
we'll end the meet. Yep, goodbye. Thank you for coming, and we'll
Thank
end the
you.
meeting.
Bye.
Bye.